You just pulled up Facebook Live.
Yes.
I'm logging in now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good morning. Good
Wow,
morning.
people are already commenting.
What are they saying?
All right, so Gary Arturo, he says, the French and Russians always put on great national parades.
Oh.
We have different traditions. No member of the American military, especially enlisted ones, love being in a show parade. Trust me. He's been in some, and it tears up the streets and costs money. This is a very long one, but he understands the idea of wanting a parade, and he continues to thank folks personally with the base, the hospital, fallen soldiers, family visits, all sorts of ways to thank our veterans and our soldiers. But he's saying, forget the national parade. He said, my retired military and personal opinion is to forget it.
Well, Arturo, thank you for your service.
Yes.
He is retired? Is that what it says?
He is retired, yes.
Okay, which branch of the military? Please answer the Q. And how many years did you serve? And what was your MOS? I'd love to know. This Army brat loves to ask
What
the
is
questions.
MOS for me?
Well, what did you do? What's your job in the military? So are you infantry? Did you work as a recruiter in the military? But first, I'd love to know what branch. My father served 21 years in the U.S. Army, so traveled, did the whole thing, and so much respect for it. And I love when you guys chime in. And that's what I love this morning, hearing from those who have been or who are currently serving in the military.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about flexing the military, the U.S. military muscles in front of the entire world? Because the story is that President Trump, this isn't new, he's been wanting this.
Yes.
He wants a parade, and this was after he attended the Bastille Day event, correct?
He went to Paris, France last year for Bastille Day, and they put all the pomp and circumstance into this military parade, and he saw it, and he was like a kid in a candy store. He's like, I want exactly
that attention,
but better in America. And so now he's on a mission. He asked the Pentagon to put him together a military parade. When it will happen,
put together
we
the
don't
parade.
know.
That's a lot of people to facilitate.
A lot of people, a lot of money, and it would be a lot of money because shipping over tanks and artillery
just to show off
so much. Actually, we have somebody who's an expert on that here. We should ask him about it.
Oh, who's
Michael?
That's right.
He's putting together an entire story about Afghanistan.
We'll get his opinion momentarily when he takes off the headphones. I don't want to be yelling.
He's not focused on us.
Yeah, he's not focused, but we will ask him. A big special is coming up this Friday.
Okay, I'm excited for this. He was embedded with the military in Afghanistan, and we get a sneak peek of what that was like for him.
Yeah.
Plus, he is a genius behind the camera.
Yes.
So you know his camera angles.
Straight up documentary. It's very, very cool.
Okay.
So back to the topic at hand. How do you guys feel about this? I guess my question to you this morning during the show, and again, in case you missed it, 5 to 7 on Morning Blend. Yeah. Who's paying for this? That's the big question people are having.
That's everyone's question, and we still don't know. It's a big old question mark here. So when we find out, we will let you know, but this is what we do know. It will cost a lot of money. It might be fabulous. Who knows? But it's just not traditionally what we do. It's more of something that authoritarian regimes like North Korea
and the marching,
China.
And it's a way to instill this level, again, when I say flexing muscles, of being like, who's bigger, who's better, maybe instilling some fear, which isn't against what President Trump's behavior is like. I mean, he likes that. He likes to flex the muscles, and he likes to show that we are bigger and better. And some would say, like, I don't know, name like a Rolls Royce, right? They don't go and they don't have commercials saying like, hey, come and buy the Rolls Royce.
True.
Because it is such a great and luxurious product. I don't know how great it is. I've never owned one. I don't know anyone who owns a Rolls, but it stands alone. It doesn't need that propaganda. It doesn't need that marketing. It doesn't need that sort of attention placed on it in the marketing sense of the word. It just is what it is. So some say that we are the greatest military. Everyone knows that. Every country is trying to be like us when it comes to military. So why do we need to throw this big old event and spend money and maybe put the focus towards something else? But I want to get to some of the comments we have here. Wesley Capin says $10 million for the event, ? Could be used so much better. I vote no for a military parade, says Marion. Dave Wong, I think we would impress people more, Megan, if we were to flex our muscles. And indeed, I think we would. It's just the question, do we need to? This is me just posing questions. I am not quite sure where I stand right now. Let's see. If there must be a parade, then I think a better strategy would be to have one day of many smaller parades throughout the U.S. so more people can attend and participate. That was by Matt Gray. That's an interesting concept. Instead of having one outside the White House, or instead of having one in wherever it is, maybe down in Florida. I don't know where he would want to have this parade. But instead of that, then they were saying, this Matt gentleman is saying, have a couple of them. So it's sort of like the entire day is celebrating maybe at every capital of every state.
See, that is what July 4th is for. That's what Veterans Day is for. Memorial Day is for.
Touche.
It's like we have ways to acknowledge our veterans and those who serve our military.
But I don't think Trump is about us appreciating. It's about the rest of the world appreciating us. Veterans Day is like, go get, you know, my dad gets coupons to go to certain restaurants to pick up his Starbucks.
Always a car sale.
Always a car sale. And then it's turned into something else where it's become
it's a capitalist thing.
Us benefiting, and we didn't even serve, right? Where this is about purely politics, right?
Right, and so it shouldn't be, though. It shouldn't. We shouldn't have to show our strength as a nation because
I don't know.
We are.
I guess why
the
not?
number one nation. We are the nation that people look to. Maybe less so these days, right? Maybe less so these days than in years past, but economically, actually, there was a former political advisor, and he was in the military, who said that to date, there hasn't been a military like ours in terms of the fact that we have all volunteers. I think it's 2 million people that volunteer to be a part of our military. That is impressive in itself.
Absolutely.
But then the size, the artillery that we have, everything that we have is just bigger and better. And why do we need to show that off? It's just showing the enemy what we have. You're showing your cards, in my opinion.
I think we would be smart. Hopefully, we would. I trust the people at hand who would be planning this would be smart enough to. I think put things on reserve that you don't want the world to show. But that's the point: is that we have so much to show off. I guess.
Wesley is saying 10 million for the event. We don't know how much it would cost. We know it would be in the millions, just not how much yet. But it would be taxpayer dollars. To Herbert's point. Somebody was saying, I don't care, it's a parade, do it. And Herbert was saying, it's your tax dollars, you're paying for it, you should care. Which I agree, you should probably care.
Yeah. No, it's good. And I love that you guys are chiming in. Back to Gary Arturo Flassman. He answered the question, what is your MOS, which is Military Occupational Specialty. Ooh. All these years, it was like, what's your MOS, what's your job? But to be more specific, it is an acronym, obviously. Military Occupational Specialty.
Love it.
And so he says 22 years. He served 22 years in our armed forces. He was an Army combat medic, 2 years Navy corpsman, and the rest in the Air Force. Wow, Army and Air Force. Ooh. I salute you, sir. Thank you so much, Gary, for chiming in and giving us your opinion.
I have an uncle that was in the Air Force.
Nice.
His brother was in the Army. My abuelo was in the Army.
Great.
The military is deep roots in our family, and it's special to see our military celebrated throughout the year. And I always get excited. I know it's just once or twice a year to like post their pictures and tell their stories online, but you don't need to show the types of machinery that we use in order to celebrate the work that they do.
And is this coming from the marketing side of you? Even if you like compare it to like you were involved in marketing and fashion, it's like when it came to a huge brand, how did you guys handle that in comparison to like a, I don't know, smaller brand that people needed to know about?
Right. So that's a good point. I worked for Macy's for a number of years, and Macy's advertises. It does, but it's also not saying, Macy's, we have X number of stores, and in those stores, we have this number of units of merchandise. It's saying, we offer this service, and the service is clothing. Well, in America, we offer this service of protection, loyalty, this idea of a safe haven for people. That is known. That's great. That's the advertising that Macy's doesn't have to do.
Sure.
The advertising that he wants to do is, this is the number of shirts we have, this is the number of pants we have, and you should have them in this color and this size. That's how I equate this.
This is how perfect.
And you just don't need to know that much information about our country, in my opinion.
In your opinion, interesting.
Yeah.
I
love this one.
Wesley Catman, simple. How much did it cost the last time? $7 million. Is it worth it? It would cost this time at least $10 million. Couldn't the money be spent differently? So that's Wesley bringing up those points.
And where is the money coming from, Wesley? We do not know. But Matt Gray says, and this goes to our point, the lion doesn't need to roar for the rest of the animals to know he is king of the jungle.
Touché.
The world already knows our military might. That was almost like a poem.
That was good.
I liked it.
Yeah, that was good. It's a lot of analogies this morning. Ty Smith, military parade is a North Korea thing. That's the other thing I was thinking about in my head this morning is, like, that's something you don't see here. Why do we got to adopt it now?
Right. We haven't done it in a very, very long time because we don't have
And it's sort of going back to like style. It's like someone else's thing.
Yeah.
Why are you like, let's be more creative. First of all, why do you want to do this, President Trump? Like, tell me at the root of it, what is the motivation?
Right.
And then with that motivation, get your team of marketers, right?
Yep,
Politicians
exactly.
around here to come up with an original plan.
Yes.
Do we need a parade?
No.
Do we need that? Maybe if you want to flex your muscles in a different way, creatively, and honoring our military and showing our military off. How else can we do it?
I love
Parade,
that
been there,
question.
done that.
Do you guys have ideas on how we could do it?
Right.
I would love
we're
to
not
know.
the professionals here. We understand that, but it
We're
is
not.
interesting to talk about.
I love it. You know.